And welcome back. Well, if you love all aspects of breakfast, who doesn't? Then we've got the perfect way to go big and bold this Valentine's Day. You're going to die for this. Chef Kate Lulaw from Jones Dairy Farm joins us now, and she's going to show us how to make a Valentine's breakfast board with step-by-step instructions for the ham and cheddar truffles, too. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Oh, Kate, this is so exciting. Okay, so here's the deal. This was like the top trend predicted on Pinterest for 2021, right? Is these breakfast boards.
It was, yes. And I think, any kind of charcuterie board or any kind of board like this is just awesome. And the breakfast one, of course, for us, because we do breakfast meats, this was a perfect fit. And I love them because you can't screw them up. Anything you want to put on it, any kind of pairing of cheeses or fruits or meats or whatever, it's all going to go together, and you just use your creativity and put it together however you want to. So it's a lot of fun. This first one looked nothing like this one. Everyone is going to be different. So
well, and that's the beauty of it, right? And I just had to point out those little things that look like roses in the one picture. That's bacon. So I know I know you're going to get
bacon
started.
Roses, yep.
Yeah, and in these ham and cheddar truffles, these are waffles that you're using the smoked ham, right?
Correct. Yep. I'm using the breakfast ham slices. You can certainly use any of our hams. We have the dainty ham, the family ham, ham steaks, just any kind of chopped up ham would work really well in this. And just because ham tends to pair so well with cheddar, I'm using cheddar cheese, but you can use any kind of cheese in this recipe. And chaffles, if you're not familiar, it's just basically cheese waffles put together to make the word chaffles. So it's started out as a real big thing with the keto community because it's very low carb. So, and kind of took off from there because there's just so many different variations that you can make. So it's so simple. I have a half a cup of almond flour and a cup of cheese. Again, I use cheddar and I have a little bit of mozzarella mixed in. And then just 2 eggs and a little bit of baking powder, which is going to help your waffles just kind of puff up a little bit like you want. I'm going to mix that all together, and then we'll add in the ham last. That'll be the last thing that we add in. And I've been heating my waffle iron, so I just gave it a little spray, and it's getting nice and hot. Because, waffles, they don't take very long to cook. So, but as I mentioned, you can use any kind of ham in here. All of our Jones hams are naturally smoked. We never use any kind of liquid smoke at all. It's hardwood chips. This one in particular uses hickory. So it's smoked. We use a 100-year-old cure to make the ham. And it's just a wonderful flavor. You never get that liquid smoke flavor or that funny aftertaste sometimes that you get from other hams. You won't get that from ours at all.
I know, that grosses me out, right? Like, that's why I love Jones Dairy Farm. It's like, it's like the only ham, and I always have the Canadian bacon ham in my fridge. But and
that would work really well in here too. Good Canadian bacon would work too.
Yeah, totally. And I love that it's high in protein. There's 0 carbs to it, obviously. And it's gluten-free. Everything you do is just so simple, like you said, in terms of ingredients.
Absolutely. Certified gluten-free, like you said. And it's a great source of protein, as you mentioned. And 2 slices, 50 calories. So if you're counting calories besides, it's perfect. You can eat it right out of the package. And we never, a good thing to remember too, we never use any fillers or any ground trimmings of any kind. It's just very lean cuts of whole meat.
That's right. So you don't need anything in those truffles to make them rise. They'll cook just as well as they are.
Yep. Just that little bit of baking powder is just going to be enough to puff them up just a little bit. I have a little heart-shaped one for Valentine's Day here.
Cute.
Of course, you can use whatever kind you want. But you just put your little scoop of waffle mix in here, and we're going to close it up. You don't have to worry about it being perfect. You can always take a scissors after if you want them to look like perfect little hearts, and you can trim it up after.
Oh, yeah, and eat the rest for yourself before you give them to everybody.
Exactly. So we'll let that cook up for just a minute, and I was real quickly just going to show you the bacon roses that you had mentioned.
Yes.
I just have some of our thick cut bacon here, and this, Tiffany, honestly, could not be more simple, right? So you just take your slice of bacon, and you just start at one end, and you're going to roll. You can use whichever bacon you want. Of course, I like the thick stuff because then it's going to take a little bit longer in the oven, but it's just going to give this, beautiful big rose. And, when they start to cook then in the oven, the tops will kind of open up a little bit.
Oh.
So you just roll them up, take a couple of toothpicks, pick them together at the bottom so they stay together.
Oh my gosh, that's so easy.
It is super easy. And then just put them on a foil-lined baking sheet. If you can put them on top of a rack, that's even better because that little bit of fat will drip off the bottom. But honestly, that's it. I mean, could not be more simple.
That is super simple. I know you've got the bacon. Is it the bacon or the maple sausage links that you put with this?
Yes. So that was the other thing on the board. Yep. The nice thing is I use these little cast irons, and before I'm going to put the board together, I just throw those in the oven for a few minutes to heat them up so that they retain the heat for the sausage. And yes, I did maple. I'm sorry that you can't eat it, but I know the maple is one of your favorites,
Oh
so I
my
did
God,
maple.
absolutely favorite. That
And
and the
then I
chicken
also did,
sausage.
and I did chicken sausage. That's what this one is. So it's
Oh, you did?
maple links, yep, and chicken links. And then these are our pork sausage patties. But as you can see, I mean, we've got maple, we've got turkey, chicken, regular pork. So whatever you're looking for, whatever kind of eating plan you're following, we have something that will fit. And always the bacon and the hams always will be in the refrigerated section. Obviously, the sausages are going to be in the freezer section because they don't have any additives or preservatives.
Well, and that's another good point, because if there's something specific that you want, you've got the product locator on your website, and that's super
Yeah.
simple. So if you want the cherry wood bacon specifically, or a certain kind of the ham, you can actually look right on your website. It'll tell you exactly which places near you carry it, which I think is
That's ex-
important. If you
that's
need something
exactly right.
specific.
Correct. And that's why I love our product locator. It's not generalized, it's very specific to products. So this is it. It was in there for what, maybe a minute while we were talking. I took it out. Again, just trim around the outside if you want. If you're making regular waffles, doesn't even matter. They'll be square or round or whatever. And then I just placed them on the board. And we've got some jams, we've got a little ham, some cheeses, fruits, and it just all pairs so well together. These are super simple. There's 100 variations of these depending on your tastes. If you want to make pizza chaffles or whatever you want to make, that's kind of your base is always going to be eggs, almond flour, and cheese, and that little bit of baking powder, and then you can add in whatever else you'd like to make them more personalized or more customized.
I am going to try those because I need a new almond flour recipe for waffles in the morning, and that looks
Yeah,
delicious. So,
they're really good.
yeah, fantastic. Okay, that board looks like it'll feed me, so
Yeah.
I'm good. If you want to just drop
So
that
you
off.
come over and bring like 5 of your friends, and we'll be good to go.
Kate, thank you so much for joining us. I love that. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
So
Thank
happy to
you.
share it. You bet. And to get the recipe for those ham and cheddar chaffles, go to the Jones Dairy Farm website. It's jonesdairyfarm.com. And don't forget to check out their product locator. That's where you can find out where you can purchase the Jones ham, the bacon, and those sweet maple sausages as well.